Good afternoon. Today I'm going to convert an odb++ file into a number of Gerber files, and then we'll view the Gerber data to see what it looks like. I'm starting with a TGZ file, and I've created an empty directory called output to hold my Gerber files. What we'll do is we'll start with the odb interface, and we'll select the file to process, and you can see it's being scanned now and copied. All right, so it's done. What you see here are a number of different steps, and you have to choose which step you want to view. There's a panel A, panel B. Then in this column there are a number of layers. These seem very unusual, but that seems like the drill layer that goes between 1 and 30. I'm going to select panel B as my step to use. And I'm going to select the drill layer, and I'm going to select the top and bottom signal layers, and let's say the top solder mask and the bottom solder mask. Once I've done all that, then I just press convert, and now the program will run through the entire database, and it'll pull out all the data on the selected layers that belong to that particular step. Okay, it tells us that it's done. All right, and now we'll look in our directory. We had directed the files to appear in this directory. It should be there. You can see that those are the files we selected. The way this layers were named, TL is top layer, top solder, bottom solder, and drill. So why don't we look at the top layer using the GBRVU program. So file open, and we'll select top layer. You can see it's a fairly large panel of multiple circuits. Let's zoom in and look at a few things. Let's say zoom in this corner, and you can see various pads and ground planes. You see these little ripples? This file is built up of multiple layers, and if I turn the fill off, it's likely that there were some pads placed first on this layer, and then later on some filled in areas of power plane. You see that the pads are leaking a little past the edge of the power plane there. Same over here, you see a bunch of stuff that gets covered up. Both odb and Gerber support multi-layers of what we call paint and scratch. So let's look at the bottom layer now. We'll look over in this area this time. There's a section where they're probably checking the etching. There's an open area with some pads on it for a part. These are probably vias, probably capacitor. You can see that the measurements are in millimeters, and this goes from about here, which is about -467 in the X, up to about 1. So it's about almost 500 millimeters this way, and it goes from 6 here to about 623. So it's a very large board, 500 by 600 millimeters. Let's look at our solder mask layer. So that would be the top solder mask layer. Now this is actually a drawing of the openings. The mask layer is the reverse of this. And now let's look at the bottom solder mask layer. And it's very similar. Probably have openings wherever there's going to be a component that is going to be soldered in place. And now let's look at the drill layer. Turns out that particular drill layer is empty as far as we can tell. In any event, you can see that it's quite simple to convert to Gerber and then to view the Gerber in a viewer. Thank you very much.